season, like in the major, we didn't play really good as well, and we learned a lot about this, about even about Moist because they played really good at that major, and
Mais il est français, il est français. Ah, yo la personne. Ah ouais, giga chat. Wesh la personne qui vient de rejoindre, j'espère que tu vas bien, que tu vas passer un bon moment sur ce live. Vas-y, attends, je remets le 720, le 1080p, parce que là la qualité elle est dégueulasse.
Like we know how the crowd works, etc. But like the Carmichael fans were like an exception. Like we've never seen something like this. Like they made so much noise, so it was our first time. But now
Vas-y, attends, je regarde ton live.
To adapt to it if it happens like in the future, and yeah, it's going to be fine.
Well, you guys had a lot of expectations, and I think a lot of that was due to the fact that Vatira joined your roster, and he's kind of the consensus #1 player in the world. It's got to be great to have a teammate like that, but. We talk about you guys, him, yourself, but we don't get to hear much from Exotic. And I want to know, what does he bring to the table as a teammate for this K-Corp squad?
Okay. He brings like so much, like you can even all the people who underestimate him, they're just stupid and they don't know anything about the game because like, he's just one of the fastest players in the game. Like in my opinion, he's so smart. He's really good in so much aspect of the game that other players are not, and he brings so much to the team. In the game and even outside of the game, he's just super friendly. He's
ouais, 720p, un peu tout.
Well, Itachi, it's been awesome getting to talk to you, man. I look forward to watching you guys the rest of this weekend, and hopefully we get to see you guys in 3 straight grand finals again.
Allez là, c'est Solari
du coup. We're gonna go back to Leaf and the
attends, je base.
C'est pas Solari.
Non, là c'est pas Solari, c'est la game d'après.
Non, mais la game d'après.
C'est pas ça. Non, dommage. Ouais.
Ah, la game d'après, c'est ça.
Mais là c'est les. Ouais.
Ah ouais, les gars, on va
là c'est la fin du match.
Ah ouais,
Du coup les gars, c'est notre première. Oh, double tap. Attends, mais Itachi il est trop fort. Vas-y, attends, Itachi il utilise. Ah, dommage, il l'a passé. Il est à la Carmine Corp. Voilà. Ah, Turtle, je crois que je le connais. Il est sur YouTube, je crois. Celui à droite. Attends, vas-y, quart de finale. Non, là c'est vrai, là c'est Vitality, je crois qu'il fait. Au pire, c'est pas grave. Ouais, j'entends.
In the European region. Let's start talking about that. That's our next matchup in the quarterfinals there. It's going to be the
Ça commence.
Oxygen Esports Turtle. Oxygen, I do feel like
ça commence.
Still are the favorites coming into this. We saw
Solari contre Oxygène. Ouais, Oxygène. Ici, c'était Solari. Ouais, c'est Sonic. Ah oui, c'est Sonic. Ouais. Confondu. Rise, je crois Rise il était fort. Rise il est fort.
Oxygen were. They won 3-1 in the first series, then 4-1 in the grand final against Sonics, and I do believe we're going to see a repeated game
Vote in the chat.
where they have all the mechanics,
Bah,
they're going to put it all together, and it might be too much for Sonics to handle.
Attends. Hashtag.
I'm just curious how you feel. I mean, obviously, I think we're all pretty excited about this move with Oxygen. What are your thoughts overall? You think this is just end game, going to put them at the top of this region overall?
Yeah, I think that Oxygen
je peux mettre que dans 10 minutes.
Roster right now in Europe, maybe in the world, for good reason though. Rise, I mean, anyone wants Rise on their team. He's just a player that's always going to give 110%. And you know, Oxygen, we saw it last week when they had Oli picking them up. The first regional, they had the honeymoon, quote unquote. They rolled through at that regional.
Tu votes pour Oxygène.
They're looking to do it again, Turtle. Maybe this is.
Non, moi je vote pour Sonic.
Win the first regional, make the major. Well, it's always nice to have like a fresh.
Tu peux pas, tu dois être abonné.
if there's any player
Pour
you
parler
want,
dans le chat, tu dois être
I
abonné.
remember whenever he was on Moist Esports and they were
Ah non,
starting
ça bug.
to really make a name for themselves.
Toi aussi, ça
you
bug
always
des
see
fois.
one player score in overtime or one player come up with the clutch
Ça
goal,
fait des
and it was
petits ronds.
Rise scoring these incredible 0-second goals where he would be the player that you rely on. In Oxygen Esports, they had the mechanics previously with Oli, but now they've got the clutch factor, and I think closing out games will be that much easier with this new addition.
I do like to see though both rosters looking excited and ready to get into this. I think I think that's a very important aspect to have when you're playing such intense matches against such great teams, is to make sure you're in the right mental space, and smiling, having fun with your team before the match starts is a good way to get into it. Not too much to lose focus, but being ready and being happy getting into it. But again, even stats-wise, Oxygen's still looking like the strongest team coming into this one, and I feel like that's why across the board, when we're doing our predictions, we just all went Oxygen. I think it'd be a little
one-sided.
Yeah, Turtle, to go with Sonic.
I like risky picks. I like always, rooting for the underdogs, but it feels too one-sided to not go for Oxygen. CJ, what instance would you go Sonics? Hit me with it. Come on.
It's so hard because, as you said, they just played each other twice in the G1 Invitation.
Je vais juste voir un truc. Attendez, parce que là, il est... Attendez, je vais lancer Discord.
One game, both times.
Allô?
It's so hard to root against Oxygen, just knowing that it's the first regional as well with this new team. Like, there's just no pressure on them, I feel like. They're just playing, having fun with the boys. So, Sonics have their work cut out for them. And I guess, if anything, maybe they underestimate them a little bit. Oxygen can be known to be shaky.
Vas-y, attends, je vais regarder sur mon téléphone. Et en attendant, tu vois, je joue un peu à Rocket.
They underestimate them, but Oxygen should win this.
And we'll see. I don't know. Rise brings such a, in my opinion, the team's already got
Vas-y, je mets le son.
Rise brings such a professionalism and a focus to that team that
Et quand ça lance, bah, je viens.
situation to see Sonics win, it would be a different roster on Oxygen.
Du coup, le gars commence sur le petit clavier.
Chance here for the team and out of this chat, yeah.
Ça commence, ok?
Ah, ça commence?
Ouais, ouais.
Number of Sonics are going to do any decent work there out on the field. Shogun and Johnny are waiting by to cast the match. Sonics had a decent performance at recent events, but this weekend, Oxygen by far looks to be having a
Bah, pas, je devais être... Ah, je devais m'abonner, et là, en fait, je viens de m'abonner il y a 5 minutes, et il faut être abonné depuis 10 minutes.
So, just how good is this new Oxygen roster? We are still waiting to see where that ceiling will be for them. But for now, they are up against a Sonics team that they are heavily favored against, Johnny. But hey,
c'était Zombie Rush.
and guess what? That reasoning is usually good enough alone to maybe expect an upset.
Ok.
Got to keep an eye on this Sonic.
Ok, ça va directement par un but, non? D7, il a cette voiture là. Attends, la voiture de Mitten, je crois. Ouais, Mitten, il a cette voiture. Mais c'est avec le mat. C'est cette voiture que tu voulais. Avec le rôle. Ah là, ça va en 4 points, ok.
Actually have any
ouais, mais ça va en 4. Et imagine, il y aurait Rebus n'a fini.
Si vous voulez voir de votre
Is the perfect start. Can it get better? No, Rise shuts that down before the shot can go rocketing towards the net. This is an amazing position for Sonics to find themselves in. That pass not quite enough. Archie would have preferred to run onto it.
Arjou.
A bit of a kerfuffle there from Sonic, but at least it's happening on the offense.
Arjou.
In this position though, you don't want it on defense.
T'as vu ça, c'est avec les RLCS ou Urbans? Je crois que c'est RLCS. J'ai cru qu'il allait faire un selling pinch. Oh là, ça bug beaucoup. Toi aussi? On n'a pas la résolution. Le... Ah, comment on dit là? Hein. Mais sinon, la vidéo elle bug pas en connexion. Moi, elle bug en connexion. Oh, la patate qu'il a mis. Oh, double tap. Dommage, je crois que c'était Archie. Ouais, Archie qui allait faire une double. C'est cette octane que tu voulais faire avec Nero Neural.
A bit of a spot in their heart when it comes
Smokes qui marque un
to
petit but.
Arju especially, I feel, after his debut as that substitute role. I believe for Mouse Sports, it was a while ago now, actually. But everyone just sort of wants Arju to now go and succeed. Is this the roster to go and do it?
Yeah, there's a long list of players and teams in the past who have benched Arju, who have decided to go and team with other players instead of Arju. And, you know, many of those players are now players we don't see at the top level. Meanwhile, season after season, Arju just keeps on making it back in. You know, this is a no pressure kind of matchup for them, I feel, because no one's expecting them to win this. We don't expect them to win this. I don't think they themselves even expect to win. They're just going to go out and give it their best shot.
Après, elle peut très bien faire un live Twitch, mais vas-y, fais.
Arju and Metain well in the past. It's suddenly when all the expectation is for them to win.
Ouais, c'est surtout que Twitch, tu gagnes. Twitch, c'est beaucoup plus dur pour. C'est plus YouTube. Il a joué Sonic pour la défense incroyable. Et pourquoi ils ont pas mis un C à la place de QS? Au moins ça ferait Sonic comme les personnages. Par contre, c'est quoi leur contrôle de balle? Mais moi, j'y arrive pas ça alors que je suis et à mon champion. But? Non, dommage. Oh, dommage. Un petit dribble par Jorquez. Je crois que c'est comme ça qu'il s'appelle. Joreuse. Excuse-moi. Mais il laisse les autres. Ils ont tous néon neural. Ça pourquoi? Bah c'est l'alpha boost. Ah, ça, non, ça c'est un... Ouais, ça c'est que sur les RL16, parce que c'est pas... Enfin, c'est un truc qu'ils ont fait avec les RL16. Non, perdez Oxley. Allez, bouge-toi là.
Well, Smokes has made quite an introduction to the quarterfinals.
Moi je me mets en 720p puisque je t'ai capté connexion sinon.
Just got caught on the jump at the worst possible time, but at the same time,
Attends, moi je vais mettre en auto.
I can blame him because there wasn't a challenge from his teammate. You do not expect it to be won that easily.
Un petit but, voilà. Smokes, tu es trop fort, merci. Oh là ils ont fait une petite balade de jeu. Oxygène en PLS. Ils ont besoin d'arbres pour respirer. T'as vu, je suis un blagueur. Oh, attends, mais c'est quoi ces kick-off? Ouais. C'est éclaté. Mais au final, c'est d'art, c'est éclaté, mais c'est d'art. Pourquoi ils ont fait preset alors qu'il a 5 de boost? Ouais. Par contre, les contrôles de balle, ils sont trop incroyables. Ok, Arju, tu l'arrêtes. Double tap. Psycho, non. T'as vu? Elle est moche. Ah, elle est moche, mais c'est moche, mais au final, c'est beau. Oh, tu preset? Non, dommage. Preset qui était par Matienne. Ouais, c'est quand c'est proche en 320p. Ouais, mais après, quand ça sera terminé. Vas-y, tu sais quoi, je reste en 720p. Winner Sonic. Ok, c'est bon. Allez, voilà. Ah, Lucas, ne dis pas, car après, t'as capté démonétisation, avertissement.
You know, didn't look like a problem for Sonics to handle.
The
quality of shots that we
got
from Oxygen was really missing in
this
game.
Moi depuis tout à l'heure j'avais pas de son.
More so, defensively they were a shambles. I mean, Jarius got a little bit confused in that first goal. He probably had his eyes on Smokes, who he was flying back towards the ball.
Mais oui, maintenant la communauté Rocket League elle est de plus en plus jeune. Maintenant tu vas te retrouver avec des gars, ils sont encore dans le ventre de leur mère, ils sont déjà au RLCS. Par contre, c'est quoi ces joues? Elles sont toutes roses. Par contre, c'est quoi ces micros? Oh, c'est à gauche, je trouve c'est le meilleur.
You know what, Jarius, there will be no complaints coming your way this time, pal. Methane went off.
Attends, mais c'est quoi ce qu'il a mis là?
Like that on you off the back of an air dribble, you can say safely, well played.
Well played, that is it on that one. Rise gave him a nice one.
Yeah, he did. He dropped a nice one in the chat here, or in the quick chat, like Shoga's saying. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to be too upset about how they defended that one. Obviously not ideal to lose the kickoff to the left-hand side. Kind of falling for that back corner strat. And look at this, Archie is going to be 1v1 with Archie. He might be going for the bump. Hit the first touch a bit too high though, a bit too far in front of himself. But look, is there smokes? Testing the woodwork again. It's all Sonic in game 2.
Smokes' performance so far has been to the point where not scoring there is considered a disappointment. Archie up against Archie. And he needed to put it behind him, just didn't have the boost to get to that side. Oxygen are barely hanging on already in this game. Could so easily be 2-0.
Oh, les gars dans le chat on dit Fennec ou Fennec. On dit Fennec. Ouais, parce que Fennec c'est moche. Bah c'est les RL16 je crois. Mais oui, je crois que c'est soit les Urmens, soit les RL16. Hein. Ouais. Oh, un petit air dribble.
1-0 pour Sonic. Oxygène en sûr.
C'est-à-dire que là c'est 1-0 et 1-0. Bah oui. Mais en fait leur contrôle de balle ils font soit... Tu vois en fait ils ont la balle, ils font un jump, enfin un double saut, mais ils font un speed flick ou... Ils font quoi? Alors juste un truc. Speed flick? Bah ils vont pas loin leur speed flick hein. À kick-off et les trucs c'est pas pareil. La voiture là, je l'aime bien. Ouais. On dirait pas comme ça mais en réalité elle est incroyable. Aussi avec les... Attends là il vit... C'est pas qu'il bug mais il est... C'est pas beaucoup d'FPS. Ah c'est bon, non. Essaye de baisser ta qualité. Mais 720p par 60.
At the defensive end, and they have missed those opportunities to get the big air dribbles started, the big pre-jump plays started. The aerial game that this team is so well known for has been completely missing so far this series.
Non, faire 720p c'était bien puisque ça bug pas.
Going to lose their back corner boost as well. Not that it was a terrible idea for Rise to play the bump instead of the ball, but obviously just not right now. The Sonic's efficient style seems to be generating more pressure, more chances, and giving them full control of the match.
Well, off the demo, can they turn that ball in? Oh, not going to get a better chance than that one. Wiped its feet on the way past on the goal.
Et là même encore c'est... Même 720p ça bug. Mais vas-y c'est pas grave, on est en 1080, c'est pas grave. Avec ton PC du CDI.
Genre c'est vraiment...
Non, tu vois, ça fait... Bah regarde, avec ton téléphone.
before that, you know, Jory has landed a demo on a goalkeeper, accidentally cleared the ball in the follow-through, so it's all gone wrong.
C'est pas gênant, mais regarde après sur ton PC là, tu peux fais Alt Tab, tu vas sur YouTube, notre chaîne, hop, manœuvre de passe, enfin manœuvre de passe. Et tu vois, mets-le un peu en arrière pour voir comment ça fait.
Je vais voir, mais je vais voir si c'est vraiment gênant. Faut d'abord que ça trouve YouTube, quoi. Un spectateur. What?
C'est mon live.
YouTube, quoi. Un spectateur. What?
Ah ouais, c'est mon live. Ah non, c'est le tien. C'est mon live.
Bah non, ça doit pas... Un spectateur.
Mais en arrière quand il y a le match. Winner Sonic. Attends. Non, ça va pas. Ok, Sonic, il y a 2-0. Attends, mais c'est quoi? Attends, il y a le 0 secondes. Il y a le 0 secondes.
Ah ouais, en plus, il y a le 0 secondes.
Mort. Sonic winner. Alors
The backboard, but there's nobody around. Arju clears. Smokes jumps up again. He's going to be a long way off from recovering. Oh, he's missed the
il y a 2 spectateurs.
does not go in. Shot in the middle. Easy to save. Oxygen have to keep the ball up in the air. Smokes tries to guide it back down. Not happening just yet. Metain booms the ball across the field. 2-0 Sonic.
Well, it's been pretty close to the end there, the second half of the game. A lot more lively from Oxygen's POV, but not enough to get a goal.
Non, ça, il y a 2 personnes, moi, il doit y avoir une personne.
Denied by last-ditch efforts from the goal line from Sonics. And I think at times as well, Oxygen denied by their own inaccuracy today. Their first touch has been a bit off. I think we saw one glorious opportunity for Jorius around about halfway through the game. He had a set up for a solo air dribble, and the first touch wasn't ideal. Second touch had him losing control of the ball. I mean, compare that to Metain.
Moi, il y a 0 personnes, toi, il y a 2 personnes sur ton live.
Or scoring in the first few seconds of this one. Yeah, clearly Sonics have just got their number right now. Like, that's such an
non, il y a moi et une personne random.
Tough to read, very tough to read where that ball's going to go when you got near post demo like this, but it just didn't fall for Oxygen and they couldn't get the goal.
Ça se trouve, c'est Android, c'est.
You know, every effort they made, demos, solo plays, team plays, couldn't get the goal.
That is now the longest Oxygen held scoreless all season long. Not much of a surprise.
Attends, moi, je vais surveiller un peu mon chat.
One for us to hear about the fact that Oxygen have been held scoreless for that long. And
ah, il y a un gars, il a mis un commentaire dans ton... Ouais. Il y a un 0 pour Sonic. Ah, ils ont déjà mis un but. Ah, il faut regarder mon téléphone.
Non, moi c'est décalé un peu.
Non. Vas-y, attends, moi je vais... Je vais pisser, je reviens.
Rise anticipating an earlier contact on the ball, just airs the block. Smoke sends another one into the Oxygen. I feel like this might be just a little bit of pride from Oxygen, thinking we don't need a timeout, we're better than this team. We're just going to beat this team if we play our game, but it's whether or not you're the better team, whether or not you're the more mechanical team. I'm sure Oxygen will consider themselves. Everyone has an off day, everyone has a bad series here and then. They've got to get it together here. There's no goals. Sonics are just scoring consistently every time that they're getting these opportunities.
I'm sure Sonics will make the argument. Yeah, we had our off day. It was when you guys beat us. Now Rise, reset number 1. Wanted to take out Metain. Unable to do so. Surely. No, not surely. Not whatsoever. I'm just counting upwards at this point now, Johnny. 11 minutes. No Oxygen goals.
Well, you know, an interesting thing to note is the group Oxygen played in yesterday was being called the group of death when everybody saw the draw. German Amigos, BDS, Oxygen, all in one group. Well, that sucks. Oh, there you go. It is the first goal. The bump connects, timely fashion for Archie to run the ball into the net. They want to prove that they were in the group of death yesterday. by winning this, sending a Group D team into the semi-finals. But, you know, if Sonics can close out the series, if Vitality can win against Moist, that would be 3 teams from Group A all making the semi-finals. So that would confirm Group A as the real group of death, not Group D as we previously thought.
Well, time for Oxygen to try and put all of this behind them and work from the position they're in. Have got their first goal.
Ok, je suis là.
It hasn't looked like I was mentioning earlier. Oh, wait a minute, Rise! Oh, wait,
De
that goes in!
Non, non. Allez Sonic, allez Sonic.
Lifting from the corner. And for the first time, Oxygen have got the lead. What?
Allez Sonic, allez Sonic.
That is a 1v4 play from Rise. A 1v4. He 50-50s the ball through one defender.
Oh, il y a 2-0. Il y a 2-0, je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'il me raconte.
And then bumps the recovering 4th man.
Bah si.
Oh, Psycho! It doesn't add up, but that's just how good Rise can be. Unreal.
Il avait mis un Psycho.
Great finish as well. Well placed from Oxygen.
That is the reason why they were
En passant, je me suis pris un petit oasis.
so intent on getting him onto this roster.
T'aimes pas oasis?
This is now the testing point for Sonic.
Putain,
Were they
3-1.
just going to peak for 2 games? Or are they going to continue to bite back
Vas-y,
and make
on va
every
pas
single game
perdre.
as difficult as possible? Rise, he's cut past one,
Ouais.
he's turned it in. For all the work he did
Non, non,
with
non.
the assist, he deserves that
Non les
goal.
gars.
Well, this game has been
Non les gars,
about 2
non,
things
non,
for
non.
Oxygen. The physicality and the control. You're seeing a lot of controlled touches. They're just holding the ball when they get a chance to do so.
Just
Compare that to the first two
that's
games where they were just trying to boom the ball past Sonics and then beat them in the aerial battles, beat them in the races. And you know, that's something Oxygen can do if they're on their game. But I don't think they are on their game today. I think they made a very nice playstyle adjustment. And credit to them, coming up with that without a timeout. Just trying to go for a more grounded-based approach and a more bump-heavy approach, realizing that actually Sonics are playing very well in the quick game. And look at this, Smokes has just scored again. Well, that has caught Oxygen by surprise. The stealing pitch from inside his own half.
Oh my god. Smokes is going to have a lot of new fans by the end of this series. Incredible. He's been absolutely incredible. And he's got his team plenty of time to find this next goal. Might do it quite quickly here as Metane almost landed on it. Instead, Archie waiting in the midfield. Archie gets enough on the ball. There's Smokes again. There's that moment of anticipation now every time he's on the ball.
Ouais. Ouais, demain, je peux activer ma cam.
5 goals, if not more. Forgot
Je sais
how
pas.
high they ran up the score in game 1, but
Je l'ai connecté, ça
what a
fait
series for Smokes. He's playing out of his mind. And
Ça la met pas.
solid as well, but yeah, Smokes is completely still in the show here.
Belle save
Does
par
get
Rise.
busted to that ball, though Matane with a bit of work to do. He catches the ball effectively, offloads to
Rise, il a fait une belle save.
He's been on fire today. He's a 2v2 grinder, he is. Smokes, if you like to watch your Rocket League streams, the pro players in EU, Q and Ranked, I'm sure you'll know who this guy is. He's a very active player in the 2v2 ladder. So he made a name for himself outside of the bubble scene. Yeah, definitely one way to put an exclamation mark on that introduction. They need one more. They're going to come back in game 3. Look at this. It's another bump from Oxygen. They've done it every single time.
La luck.
Single shot, once again, it's just perfect.
That was not a bump, that was super.
Ah, pas du tout. Oh, regarde là. Oh, dommage.
Short of it to get rid of him at the moment. This is, however, massive for Oxygen. Because they are doing, every time we look at a series that has gone this heavily in one direction, and suddenly the next game, we're seeing something a little bit different. The main question always comes to me is this something you can replicate? For this style, absolutely, for Oxygen. If anything, they are asking less of themselves than what they were previously doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very easy to keep this going. It will be entirely up to Sonics to adjust and realize what Oxygen has done this game. I mean, if you're going to sit back and wait for hard clears, and the other team just doesn't hard clear the ball at you, they just control it and dribble it towards you, then, okay, you need to start moving out and challenging earlier. I think Sonics are going to be quite happy to do that as we progress through the series, but not able to make that adjustment mid-game. They've been caught too many times. You can't leave just one man back. We know he's thought Oxygen being punished for that in games 1 and 2. the isolated defenders being outplayed. It's not just on the ball outplays you have to look out for. That's almost a fifth there from Oxygen. A banger it would have been.
Dommage.
Oxygen showing you got to look out for the off the ball plays as well in game 3. Putting one on the board.
Bien joué,
In
bien
style.
joué.
2 games without scoring. Now they've managed to score 4 in 1.
Mais ma voix pas mal marche.
No timeout needed. Easy enough. Just change everything.
Pas vraiment que
What you
c'est...
gotta do is
Hein
Oxygen have got themselves their first
2-1,
game
voilà,
win.
2-1, voilà. Chut.
And it was
Oh.
everybody not sort of leaving the other players out to dry when it came to defense.
Mais c'est quoi BO7?
Did a great job of maintaining the pressure, making sure that they've got transition
Mais le
options.
premier qui a...
I think most importantly, when you are
Mais
looking
ça va en
to
4.
Rise and Jorius, they were never isolated. And
Ça va en
that
4.
is a big difference maker for this squad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Du coup, c'est un BO4.
Just look at all these goals. I mean, every single goal involves some kind of physicality, some kind of ball control. And we
bah, je sais
mentioned
pas.
earlier on in the series.
Bah
that
ouais, la personne
Oxygen's
qui vient de
goal
rejoindre,
defense
j'espère que
seems
tu vas
to be
bien.
on point. Sometimes
Et
it's
n'hésite pas à
something I've
voter
seen
dans
a
les
lot from
commentaires
Jorius
qui
in
va
his
gagner.
1v1 career, in fact.
Sonic
He's having
ou
an off day with
Oxygène.
his
Moi,
big
je
area
vote
mechanics,
Sonic.
which I'm sure all of you know he's got in spades. He just goes back to a very simple game, and that's I think what
Ah, c'est
Oxygen
17,
has done
c'est
here.
6 à
They don't
17.
have to pop off with the
Je pense dans
huge
une heure, je vais
aerials
devoir aller
and the
grailler.
free jumps and the
Mais
double
vas-y, je laisse
resets
le
and
live
all of that.
d'allumer.
They've got a good fundamental game as well to switch up to. It's very difficult to defend against a team who can make these adjustments on the fly like Oxygen
No.
have. I'm sure Sonic didn't expect that. You know, no timeout, no indication that there's going to be a big switch up of play. So maybe, yeah, I think we need to give them more credit for
C'est
doing
des
that
trucs
without
sur
a
YouTube ou
timeout.
sur
Could have
Netflix?
been an intentional disguising of their intentions.
Oh.
Yeah, timeouts do telegraph changes the game player coming.
Bah là, on regarde les RLCS. De base, c'est censé être un react RLCS.
Given what they had seen from Oxygen, there
Oh, dommage.
wasn't much of an argument to be made that there'd be much of a fight at all. Oxygen, though, proving that if you want to get into those sort of point scoring totals where you can qualify for a major,
Oh, ça serait bien.
you have to go
Oh,
through the very best that the
non, non,
region's
non.
got to offer. And they will
Ah, on est
consider
censé faire.
themselves that very team.
Mais on peut pas.
Huge opportunity
Bah
though
oui.
for both squads.
Bah après on regarde, c'est pas grave,
Who
après
can
le
get
match.
that front foot when it comes to
Non,
game
non, non.
goals?
Mais après match, il y a
There you go,
Vitality qui joue.
Realized that he was under pressure from smokes, can still become the target.
C'est à 4.
Mais si.
Surrounded by blue cars, and it will be back to the
Mais après, il y a
drawing board.
Vitality
Oxygen
qui joue.
start back up from their own backboard, and Archie, they'll be able to play from here actually. Good challenge. He's
Regarde
going to be
le truc
first
que
to it. Matane, and now he's
Bon,
got an opportunity to
regarde,
smoke some
moi,
midfield if he
je
wants
respecte
it.
le titre de mon
Goes
live.
low. Maybe the wrong decision.
Well, that lob pass from Sonics is only going to find Jarius, who has his shot intercepted.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
he's
backboard.
a
Look,
boost.
Jarius just lingering there. Didn't immediately leave. He just stuck around in the goal line just to
Comment
be a
ils vont
nuisance.
faire?
Potentially redirect the ball if it comes straight after.
Ça va, il y en a dans...
This is just
Ah, c'est dans
annoying
ce
for
terrain-là
Sonics
où
to have to deal with.
K-Dub, il avait
Cuts
mis
of
une
rotation
redirect.
from Oxygen, having a much more tight retreat
Il a
close
dû
to the
attendre
ball.
En
qu'il
RLCS.
finisse, en vrai, pour,
Really denying those counterattacks. Sonics were able to
Et
generate
surtout, faut pas
earlier
que
in the
du
match.
coup Oxygen gagne.
From Matane.
Faut que ça
Lofted away by
fasse
Rise.
gagner du temps.
First goal going to be crucial here. Sonics have been the better team in the series as a whole. Once you give Oxygen a little bit of momentum, they can run through absolutely anyone. Maybe the team with the highest peak
Ouais.
in the world last split. Now they've got Rise in the roster. You have to imagine that peak has only
Mais
risen.
non.
Jorius is going to go for the follow. It's loose.
Bah si, s'il gagne,
Rise
on
around.
reste à 2-2.
Able to truly
Bah ouais.
find the goal. Archie now
Il y aura
has his own
encore
chance.
même
He's got
2
on top
matchs.
of the ball, and in fact overdid it when it came to finding that
S'il
angle.
vous plaît, Sonic.
Still
Ouais, voilà, c'est ça.
2 minutes.
Allez,
Sonics
Sonic.
are seeing less and less of the offensive side of the field, and when they do get it over there, it's a loose ball that Oxygen can just retake
Des aides ou
over
Gaspo?
the game and set themselves back up for offense. Maybe the best chance we're going to see
Des aides
here is
ou
Rice. That ball
RLCS.
got to him so early because that meant he could go before being
Oh,
demoed.
Yeah, that was almost disastrous.
Ah, il doit trop avoir la rage. Il allait mettre une redirect.
Other side of the bar,
Putain,
that
la
was
It
redirect.
has been
Very close
3
effort.
minutes since
T'as
Smokes
vu?
last scored.
Et dose un peu, non? Parce que
overdue.
tu vois, moi j'ai pas envie de mettre des
A
avertissements.
little bit more patience, I think, with that.
T'as vu la redirect, il a failli la
Previous push
mettre.
from the Sonics, it would have been a guaranteed goal if the shooter just let
Oh,
Arju
Arju qui marque.
arrive and bump the goalie. Oh, that's not the clear ball that they're looking for.
Let's
Arju stands in top corner. Well,
En fait,
Oxygen have gifted that one.
tous les joueurs de la RLCS, ils jouent avec le air roll.
No distance on
Je le
the
sais.
clear, does not control the ball whatsoever.
Je le vois,
You can't
je le
blame
vois.
Archie
Ça va
from
te donner envie de mettre le
letting that
R.
one through.
Voilà. Mais R roll droit, c'est...
Ah, je t'entends bugger.
C'est bizarre. Ah.
Absolute bullet of a shot from Arju.
Well, we've got many mechanics.
Ça veut bump, ça veut bump.
Frère, mais ça bug.
C'est ligne, dommage. Oui, but. Non, dommage.
Oh, mais allez, le live il a bugué là. Regarde, le live il a bugué. Là pour moi.
Ah.
When you're in these
Ah, c'est bon. Non.
Moi, le live, il bug. Ok.
Il bug encore.
close quarters, it's obviously a lot harder to.
Oh, toutes les personnes qui montent. Oh, mais allez, ah, c'est bon, ça y est, arrête de bugger. Arrête de bugger le live.
Get those dribbling plays going, the ones that work so well for Oxygen.
Mais wesh. Je vais baisser ma résolution.
Direction his car is facing, I'm
Ça fait que bugger.
Ah.
sure he tried to flip towards the ball, but of course if you turn your car...
Oh non, R Vitality il joue pas. Il joue pas pendant ce live.
Quoi?
Bah regarde, Rocket League, le cheat c'est Oxygen.
Just slightly too far past the vertical, then suddenly a front flip becomes a back flip. The back
bah après on regardera le truc que je te dis, le jour où t'as basculé.
Moi, je rentre pas sur le live, attends. Oxygène va export,
in terms of which direction your car is moving. So small margins for error there, and
En fait,
panic
je crois à
situation
chaque
definitely.
truc, il,
I don't think you
à chaque truc, il change le titre. À moins que là, c'est le dernier match.
Bah oui, oui, c'est le dernier match, je crois.
Ça aurait fait un bon réacteur. En vrai, dommage, on l'a pas fait depuis tout le début.
Bah non, moi ça bug.
Oh, dommage. Justin! Justin!
Bon,
That's it, Rocket League!
les gars, je pense moi je vais arrêter.